Hi, I'm John Isner, and you're Inside Tennis with the Cause.
Tennis fans, again, if you are a tennis parent, you will enjoy this segment with Lisa Stone. You're an information provider. This information provider was not out there for you.
No.
So you sought out some information providers for you. Who have some of these people been, and what have you learned from them?
Well, interestingly, it all started on Facebook. I got into a group on Facebook of past U.S. junior tennis champions. So these are people that have been out of the game for a long time, but they still love the game and love talking about it. And
These are now parents, or they're
grandparents even.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
so-
You're going to throw some names out soon. I'm going to ask some, but continue your story.
Okay, so I joined this group and I started posing my questions to them, and I started gathering fantastic insights and information. And one of them actually suggested that if I had those questions, surely there were many other parents out there with the same questions and concerns. Why don't I start a website and put all of this information together and make it available? So that's what I did.
Very interesting. My question to you, the top 3 bits of information that you picked up from this source.
First of all was looking at a coach and using a discerning eye to try to determine if it's the right coach for my child. I think that was huge, and understanding what my child should be getting from a coach and what I should be paying for that. I think that was a big thing. Another thing was the importance of rankings, or the non-importance of rankings in the early years, and focusing more on process rather than outcome. And that was something I needed to hear and needed to kind of process myself to understand, so that I wasn't so caught up in rankings and could help my child not be so caught up in all of that. And then the other thing was tournament selection, and understanding that my child didn't have to be at a tournament every week, that it was okay to take some time away from competition and work on things on the practice court, and that would help him once he did go back into tournament play.
Getting that college scholarship can be very competitive. It's an international global game out there.
Yes.
Some kids are highly sought after. Some kids are not. These kids that can play college tennis at a D2, D3, or a lower level D1, and they're not being sought after, how do they get themselves out there?
I think the main thing is the kids need to drive the process. I think that's really important.
Not the parent, not the coach?
Not the parent, not the coach. I think it needs to start with the kids. And the advice that we got was for my son to put together a list of schools, 20 schools that he was interested in, and then start to whittle it down based on the schools that were realistic options for him versus the ones that were reach schools, much like you do when you apply for college on an academic level. And then once you do that, the child needs to start reaching out to the coaches and developing those relationships with the coaches, because for example, my son, we live in Atlanta, but he wanted to play college on the West Coast. And so it was, one of those situations where he wasn't going to get in front of coaches at tournaments because we weren't traveling to the West Coast on a regular basis for him to play. So he needed to establish these relationships via phone calls and emails, sending videos, putting stuff up on YouTube, and making sure the coaches had access to that. And he did a great job of it. He got his goal of playing on the West Coast.
Teaching parents how to serve ACES with Lisa Stone. Great to catch up with you. Finally sit down together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Cause. Appreciate it.
I'm Mike.
I'm Bob.
You're Inside Tennis with the Cause.